And so Esther had an interesting experience coming off the cruise ship and making the transport over here. Because as they come off the cruise ship, some of you have done it, some of you just did it, the luggage is all in a big place. All of the luggage. They take it from you the night before, which makes getting off the ship really easy. You just bring a very small bag of things you couldn't live without through the night. And so there your bags are, and there's quite a frenzy, a lot of people, a lot of bags, a lot of sifting and sorting. And the wonderful people that were helping Esther and all of this great team off the ship were sort of guiding them, and Esther could see her 3 bags, her 3 very big bags, and all was well. They were on the luggage cart, but Esther started getting this feeling of discomfort about the luggage. And she wanted to tell herself that it was irrational, but it was a strong feeling of something not going the way she wanted it to go. Now, you could say it was a little bit like falling a little bit out of an airplane, because there was a momentum to it. Esther felt it rather strongly. And she wanted to do what she really does well. She wanted to wrestle it to the ground and kill it. She wanted to stand there and watch the bags and make sure that the right bags got put in the right van, because she's a smart girl and she has seen the wrong luggage go in the wrong van to the wrong place on more than one occasion. So she has a vibrational pattern about things maybe potentially going wrong, or she has psychic sensing about things maybe potentially going wrong. Oh, what to do? Which is it? Which is it? Am I falling out of an airplane and I should just wait for a minute and it'll be over? So Esther decided, I'm going to, once and for all, under this stressful condition, behave myself. I'm going to put myself in the van like all my staff wants me to do. They want me to take my worrisome self and get out of the way. So Esther took her worrisome self and she got out of the way. She got on the van and she thought about falling from an airplane, and she thought about going general. Things are always working out for me. But she questioned, what is this feeling about? And does it matter at all? And then she remembered that just a few days ago on the cruise that we spent quite a bit of time talking about when you have that negative emotion is really not the time to try to get to the bottom of it. Because there's enough momentum that if you try to get to the bottom of it in the middle of it, you'll just amplify it. And so Esther thought, I'll just go general. And she thought, things always work out for me. She thought how well everything had been going. She felt appreciation for this magnificent crew that goes with her nearly everywhere she goes, who make sure as best they can that everything is the way she wants it to be. They arrived at the hotel, and Esther's bags were there. So was everyone else's bags. And Esther thought, so Esther, what was that about? And then they pull off a bag that didn't belong to any of them. Belonged to one of the clients who was on the ship. Some very well-meaning person. They had stolen her bag. They had stolen her bag, and away they had run. Esther felt some measure of relief about it. It's always satisfying to see the thing that has gone wrong that matches my sensing of something going wrong. And then Esther spent a good part of the night trying to figure out if it had gone wrong because of her, or if it was going wrong and she sensed it. And we say a little bit of both. However, what we really want you to hear about that is we don't want you to be shy about following your impulse, because you have guidance for a reason. And when you are standing in a situation where you feel that something is not the way you want it to be, is it so wrong of you to get out and look at the names on the tags? Because the people who were handling the bags had never seen any of these bags before. They didn't know any of these people before. They really were not in a position to really know how to do what Esther knew how to do. So would it have been so wrong for her to take action? And this is really what we're wanting to talk with you about. We want you to find this wonderful marriage between the inspiration that you feel, your vibrational reading, your intuitiveness, the inspiration that comes through, the guidance that is coming from broader perspective, and how your action fits into it, you see. We want you to be the physical beings that you are and to apply the action that you know how to apply. We just want you to do it from this place of vibrational alignment. Now, we have to say to you that we want Esther to know that it is not possible for her to have negatively created, because there has never been a happier girl anywhere on the planet than she was being in that moment. In other words, they'd come off the most successful, most delightful, most fun-filled week. Esther said, I laughed more in the last 7 days than I have in the last 7 years. In other words, there was so much fun that was going on. And so she should know when she asks that question. Now, she knows she has some residual stuff going on because she likes the right luggage to end up in the right van and go to the right place. All of you do. But she also knows that she was in a good vibrational place. And because she was in a good vibrational place, she was getting intuitive inspiration from broader perspective that was giving her an understanding that there was something that was a little amiss there. And it was not a magical thing to understand because there was chaos that she was witnessing anywhere. In other words, there were too many bags and too few people moving these bags in too many places at too high rate of speed. It was a perfect storm happening, really. And so what's wrong with using your ability to think? What's wrong with using your logic? So then she is sitting in the van and she is thinking, those around me expect me to be good. And I don't exactly feel like being good. I feel like sort of stomping around and looking at luggage tags. I feel like that. And we would like to give Esther, right here and now, permission to do exactly that anytime she feels like it. And all of you as well, because you can take this law of attraction crap to a wrong level. You are physical beings here in physical bodies. You've come with eyes and ears and noses and fingertips and tongues. You've come to decipher your time-space reality. You don't need to look into a crystal ball to figure out if your bag's on the bus. You have the ability. We just want a comfortable integration between all of this. And we want you to know that everything is always working out for you. But isn't it fun to be a deliberate creator? Don't you want to be deliberate in that which you are about? And don't you want this perfect vibrational marriage between your intuition and your action? Don't you want to just dance this dance where when you get an impulse, Esther calls it a hit, when you get a hit on something, don't you want to feel it in a very strong way? So then, Esther and Jeannie, Sister Jeannie, are back in Esther's suite, and Sister Becky calls from the other room. And Esther said, don't answer that because you never know who's calling the room, and everyone who knows us has a cell phone. But Jeannie thought it would be a good idea to answer it, and sure enough, it was Becky who hadn't been told that we don't answer the house phone. And then Esther thought, I wonder if Barbara let the front desk know not to put any calls through, because sometimes it can be a very busy night as people look on the internet, figure out where Esther is, and then want to have a private chat with her. And so they went to bed late. They were having such a good time. Esther set her alarm. She said, 6 hours is good. If I can get 6 hours of sleep, it will be just fine. Not enough, but just fine. Not enough, but just fine. Not enough, but just fine. Not enough. And at 1:30 in the morning, the telephone rings, or 12:30 in the morning, the telephone rings, and it's someone who just wants to chat. Esther saw that one coming too. She saw it coming. She felt it coming. She felt it coming, but instead of acting on it and making a phone call right then to the front desk, instead, you see what we're getting at? You have all kinds of things. Even Becky was inspired to make the phone call in order to set that into motion. In other words, there are all kinds of things in the works for you. All kinds of things helping you live the life that you want to live. In other words, in the precise category of things are always working out for you. But how do you think that is? Lots of times it's an inspiration of somebody next door to make the phone call. Lots of times it's something that is just coming. In other words, your vortex is full of everything that you want, and your grid, which we're going to talk a lot about here today, is your point of attraction. And as things are flowing from your vortex into your grid, there is a momentum. That's what inspiration is. That's the details filling in. All of those things are things working out for you. But when you get freaky and you start saying, I'm the creator of my own reality and I'm responsible for everything that goes right, yay, and I'm responsible for everything that goes wrong, less yay. Boo, I'm responsible for my own life experience. We want you to relax and have more fun and loosen up and follow your intuition. And most of all, and this is the point that we're making, the most important point that we make all day or ever for the likes of you deliberate creators. There are two ways for you to know how your vibration is. In other words, your guidance system really is about the vibrational variance between who you have become because of all you've lived and what's in your vortex. In other words, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. Those do wants, what I do want is going into this vortex. And the vortex is being held, it's being contained, it's being monitored, it's being managed, it's being known, it's being adored, it's being lived by your inner being. And so who you have become is standing in a vibrational state. And your point of attraction, which is what we are calling your grid, is your conscious readying yourself for the law of attraction based flowing, meaning it's got to match what's in your vortex and what you want, and who you're being and how you're feeling has to be a vibrational match so that who you are can flow seamlessly into your experience. So the most significant thing that we want to say to you, and we so want you to relax and know it, is that there are two ways for you to know what this relationship between who you're being right now, this red hot minute, with what you're thinking and feeling, what your point of attraction is, what your current grid is that you've got going on, and the you that's in your vortex. Two ways for you to understand that relationship. First, how you feel right now. Sometimes it's a little confusing. Esther's been listening to us for a long time. She sat on that bus in a state of confusion. She was feeling something. She didn't understand what she was feeling, and she was feeling a little bit guilty about feeling something that she didn't want to feel. And we say, are you guilty when your gas tank says empty? So guilty about that, I've put a happy face sticker over it. I don't want to read my indicators. Because what if my indicator is indicating something unwanted? Then doesn't that mean I'm inappropriate in some way? No, it means your indicator is working. It means there's something that you want that you're not a vibrational match to. So the first way is you feel it. The second way, we love you very much. It's going to manifest and it's going to be obvious. Don't you sort of like that? Don't you like it when something that you felt manifests? And you recognize, oh, that's what that was about. And then you are in the perfect position. To smooth out your vibration, what we call prepave for your future experience. So we would like to make a startling, maybe to some of you, certainly blunt statement. We think it would be a good idea if you would do your creating in advance. In other words, just plan for things as you want them to be, and then just live with what you've already planned. You're following? Yeah. Good. We're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. Nothing is off limits, but there will be a wonderful, delicious unfolding here. You're going to be closer to us than you have been before. The hot seat is on the platform. It's really a wonderful thing. Stairs on either side, so make yourself comfortable as you are coming up. We would ask that you wait for us to pick you out of the audience before you come up. Sometimes you may think that we're pointing at you when we're actually pointing through you to the person behind you. And so we'll point in your vicinity. And as you think it's you, stand up. And if it isn't, we'll ask you to sit down. Pouting doesn't help. We're going to have a wonderful day. Begin right here. Stand if you think it's you. Not you. You. Wait. Another thing that will help is that when we pronounce you the one, if you're not standing, you're not the one.